Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, guys, we have some very interesting news to talk about on Bitcoin. As you guys will probably know by now, Bitcoin has been rallying quite a lot lately. In fact, over the last week or so, Bitcoin has rallied $1,200, 12%, and rallied through, broken through so many different levels of resistance, it's not even funny. Do you see me laughing? You don't. But guys, today, Bitcoin, although it is doing extremely well, we're trading at $10,360 at the time of recording this video, guys. Even though Bitcoin is doing extremely well and we've put all kinds of bullish factors into play, there's one thing that we need to watch, and there's one thing that we need to be very careful of. As you guys will know, that would be none other than the TD sequential. Guys, we've talked about the TD sequential many times here on the channel, and I've called it time and time again a super indicator because of just how powerful this indicator is. Very rarely does Bitcoin ignore this indicator, and in fact, a little over 10 days ago, before this rally started, I called this rally with the TD sequential. And now with the same TD sequential calling for a pullback, is that going to happen? Are we just going to listen to this indicator in one scenario and it work out and ignore it in another? We're not going to do that. We're going to dive into this and see whether or not this rally is about to flag out and take a break. Or are we just going to straight up ignore it and blast off straight to the moon? That might happen. We're going to be talking about all of that and more in today's video, guys. You're going to be seeing the levels of resistance that Bitcoin needs to break. You're going to see the flashes that we need to see for Bitcoin to continue moving to the upside, and you're going to see that right now is one of the most important points in the last several years for Bitcoin because we find ourselves right below the long-term downtrending level of resistance. Guys, we're going to have a great video today. I think you're really going to enjoy it. If you do, hit that like button. We hit almost 2,000 likes on yesterday's video. Probably had something to do with the rave, not going to lie. It was pretty great. Freaking kudos to Taylor. I did not expect that to turn out that well. That was awesome. Guys, we're about to dive right on into this, but I do want to mention one thing, and that is that CT2A is on sale for the rest of today. I'm ending this sale tomorrow. This has been going on for far too long. If any of you guys don't by now know what I'm talking about, the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy is the academy that we put together over the last 2 years that has over 2,000 students in it that teaches you everything you need to know about technical analysis to lay your foundation so that you can start profiting in these markets. Guys, technical analysis is the most important skill that you need to learn here in trading crypto, and if you don't understand it, you can kiss your chances of being profitable in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies goodbye. So make sure you check us out. Link in the description down below. More on that at the end of the video. That sale does end tomorrow, but for now though, guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Guys, as you know, the last several days on Bitcoin have been very bullish, and in fact, if you were to ask me, I think we're on track to hitting $15,000, $16,000, $17,000, $20,000 in the next 12 months now because of this. In fact, probably a lot quicker than that. But we must understand that the technical indicators can still hold Bitcoin back. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves and just start ignoring the writing on the wall and the things right in front of us for the sake of getting hyped. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump onto the chart. Guys, we're going to start off with the bullish news here, and believe me, there is quite a lot of it. The fact of the matter is, when you look at the log chart, Bitcoin is setting a perfect top right here. As you can see, we have our first top on this downtrend, our second top, and now we have our third. If we zoom in here, we can see that Bitcoin is perfectly testing not only this downtrending level of resistance, but also $10,400, the level of resistance that we've been looking at with these highs recently. Bitcoin is testing both of them right now. You may see why I say this is one of the most important decision points in the last 3 years. Everything that's happened in the last 3 years has led us up to this exact point. We are sitting exactly below both of our major levels of resistance, and they just so happen to be sitting right on top of each other right now. The question as to whether or not Bitcoin breaks out here is one that we need to weigh carefully. And I'm split here. The technical analysis part of me says that Bitcoin should pull back here, but me understanding how Bitcoin hype cycles work says that we're probably going to break out, and I'll be honest, I want to put it up front here. I'm leaning towards the break to the bullish side because of all of the exuberance in the market. We're going to get to that, but let's back up for a second. Because we need to look at this resistance, because we already understand, or you probably already understand, why this downtrend is so powerful and why this flat level is so powerful. They are very long, old trends. This one going back all the way to November of last year, almost a year ago, and this downtrend literally being the biggest, most powerful level of resistance in the entire history of the space. Bitcoin testing both of them right now is going to be a very hard thing to break. But also take notice, guys, even though that's a very major level of resistance, it's also the top of all of our VPVR resistance. After this level of resistance, our VPVR tapers off very quickly, all the way up to $14,000. What that means is that if we do break out here, we are probably going back to at least $13,700, if not even higher. And by the way, that's not even to mention that all of our bull market signals have already flashed, which is definitely a good thing. Anyway, the reason that the technical side of my gut is saying that we're going to have a little bit of a short-term pullback, just a little bit of consolidation, is because of the TD sequential. As you guys will know, I've called this a super indicator before because it's very rare that the TD sequential gets ignored. As you can see, this green 9 flash on the TD sequential back on the 28th of July, just 9 days ago, signaled this uptrend. And then, guess what? 9 days later, we're seeing a red 9 flash on the TD sequential. Both green and red 9 flashes are very rarely ignored. The last red 9 flash that we saw on TD was back here in May, and after a few days of more uptrend, we went into a downtrend. Before that, we saw a 9 flash here and here to mark the top of both of these rallies, and even back over here, back on 2020's Valentine's Day TD sequential, we hit a high right here marked by the 9 flash. So notice, the last 4 times that a red 9 flash occurred on the TD sequential, a downtrend ensued. Not just a correction, not just consolidation, a downtrend ensued. That being said, I don't think that's what's going to happen here because there's just simply too much exuberance in the market for one indicator, even one as powerful as the TD sequential, to hold us down. That being said, Bitcoin has rallied very far, very quickly, very exuberantly, so it would make sense that in the next couple of days we do have some kind of flagging out to allow for the TD sequential to reset and allow for the bears to have a little bit of a breather, to let the bulls take some profit as well. But one thing I want to point out here is that 9 flashes don't always immediately result in a downtrend. As you guys can see, Bitcoin was pretty exuberant here in April of 2020. We hit that 9 flash, and Bitcoin, in fact, continued to rally for another 6 days. So guys, just because we're seeing 9 flashing right now on TD does not mean that we're going to start a correction right now. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to at all. What it does mean is in the next few days, we should be expecting about 2 days of consecutive red on Bitcoin. Those red days could be $20 tall. They don't have to be very tall at all, but they do need to be there. This 9 flash on the TD sequential is lining up with overbought RSI, and we do want to be careful with that as well. We don't want our RSI to get too overbought and too overextended. Guys, based on the TD sequential, based on the RSI, and based on the exuberance in the market having to do with the market sentiment, which you can learn about in CT2A, link down below, my prediction is that Bitcoin is going to continue rallying, and over the next 3 to 4 days, at some point, we're going to have a little bit of a correction. Not much. I don't think we're going to crash. I think we are in serious bull market territory. The bulls have shown their strength. We've broken a lot of shorter-term downtrends. We have reason to be rallying right now. We have reason to be bullish right now. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit as well, but I want to make sure that you're not getting ahead of yourself. Bitcoin, just like it always has, is going to need some kind of correction. We've broken $10,000. That's great, guys. We are very bullish. I am not denying that. I am full-on bull market right now. I believe that one is coming. That being said, just like always, we need to have a correction at some point. Now, the wisdom that I've learned from this market is that oftentimes when I start to say this, I'm normally saying it almost a week early. So I'm not necessarily saying this is going to happen today. It might, but in my experience, I get a little bit too bearish a little bit too early. So maybe Bitcoin rallies all the way up to like $11,000 before we have this correction. That much is very possible. It's even possible that we break our long-term downtrending level of resistance, our flat level of resistance, and then after we've broken those things, then Bitcoin puts its correction in. That is very possible. The thing I want to make very clear to you guys is that while the technicals are trying to pull Bitcoin back a little bit, they're trying to rein Bitcoin in a little bit, the bulls are very exuberant right now. They've been put under tension for the last 3 months. And remember that spring analogy I made a little over a week ago before this started. We are under a lot of tension. The spring is being compressed and compressed and compressed and compressed and compressed. And what just happened is that someone's hand just came off and the spring is exploding, and that's what's happening to the market right now. That's the exact analogy I used right before this started, and that's exactly what is happening. All of the technical indicators are lining up in a very bullish way. That much is very much a good thing, but remember that nothing can go up forever. There has to be a bit of a flag out, and I think that's going to happen in the next 7 days or so. Probably not going to happen immediately, though. This is not necessarily a prediction for the next 24 to 48 hours. It is possible, but I think Bitcoin's going to go up a little bit more before we're forced into that, because the bulls very much have the initiative right now. With all that said, there is one more thing I want to talk about, and that would be over on Google Trends. I want you to take notice of something. As you can see over here on Google Trends, we jumped up to 55 on the July 12th week. Now, the week of July 19th, which just ended, Bitcoin actually lost interest on Google Trends. That's interesting. We went down 5% in the search volume for this key term. So why then is Bitcoin rallying so much? Well, guys, it's in the contrasts like that you can find a lot of valuable information about the market. Notice, Bitcoin is rallying quite heavily. We're not just having a little dinky rally. We're having a strong, powerful rally. These are some big, muscular bulls right now. And even during that, the search interest on Bitcoin is not going up. What that means is that the volume that's coming into Bitcoin, the bullishness that's coming into Bitcoin is already what was in the market. Notice, over the last 2.5 months, people have been leaving the market. People have been exiting the market. People have been putting their volume and their market capitalization and their investments into gold, silver, Tesla, other stocks, precious metals, Forex. People have been taking money out of crypto, as we've seen with the Google Trends. And even in such, Bitcoin is having a massive rally. What that means is that with all of that volume gone, Bitcoin is rallying. What happens in a week when everybody realizes, wait a minute, Bitcoin just broke, hold on a second, Bitcoin just broke a massive level of resistance and I'm not there for it. I'm buying back into Bitcoin. What happens when all of that volume returns? Because so far what I've seen is that volume that left the space during our consolidation has not returned yet. Everything that we've seen in the last 7 days is based on volume that was already here, and the volume that was already here was quite small compared to what we could see happen in the next month. All of that to say that even though, yes, we're probably going to have maybe 2-3 days of correction at some point just to lock in gains, consolidate above resistance, even though, yes, that's going to happen, I think we're about to see a massive bull market. And guys, I'm going to be honest, I could see $13,700, $14,000 by the end of the year. That is something that is very much possible. We've seen golden crosses on the daily chart and the weekly chart. MACD looks fantastic out on weekly. MACD looks fantastic on daily. Volume looks good. Fundamentals look good. Do you know how much amazing bullish news we've had lately? Like, a lot. Go back to yesterday's dance party and you'll see screenshots of some of them. It's nuts. So guys, while yes, I think the bulls are in need of a little bit of a breather, I do think that we are about to see a lot of bullishness. And I'm very excited about that. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. I'm really pumped to see where this market goes. Guys, we've been waiting for a couple years for this, and I think it's finally happening. But as I said in yesterday's video, and I'm going to be making this point several times over the next few days, we need not get ahead of ourselves because it's very easy in times like these to get overly bullish, to put too much money in the market, and to get wrecked. So please be careful. I don't want to see you get wrecked because, you know, then I wouldn't have as many people to watch these videos, and it's obviously all about me. No, I'm kidding, of course. Totally. No. Anyway, guys, before we go, I do want to mention one thing, and that'd be the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Guys, this sale will be wrapping out tomorrow, by the way. I've talked about wrapping it out a couple times, and then I didn't do it. That was because so many of you guys were enjoying it that I wanted to extend it because I was asked by some of you to do so. But the sale will be ending tomorrow. So if you guys want to learn and build your foundation in technical analysis so you can make the most out of these markets, guys, you need to invest in your education. I'm mentoring a friend of mine who's getting into the stock market and maybe into crypto in the future, and I've told him, friend, I almost said his name, but, you know, NDA, if you're trading to earn it, by the way, he's profitable. He's consistently making profits, but I told him even then, if you were trading to earn, you're making a mistake. Because while you might be making X amount of profit on every trade right now, if you're trading to earn, you're going to stop. You're going to plateau right there. But if you're trading to learn, you're going to get better and better and better and better. And your profits are going to go exponential. And that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you're always investing in your education. I told him I don't get anything by telling him this. He's not a paying customer. He's just a friend of mine. This is what I tell him. And I tell everybody that asks me these kind of things. You need to be making sure that you're trading to learn, not trading to earn. If you're always trading to learn, the earnings are naturally going to come because if you are good enough at something, the market is going to pay you for that skill. But you must invest in your education. If you don't understand crypto markets, if you've been here for less than 2 years, even if you have been here for more than 2 years, we have some veterans of the space in CT2A. If you are at all green in cryptocurrency, you need to take CT2A because you need to be building your foundation. You need to be learning. There are a lot of things in here that no one ever taught me. I just stumbled across them 18 months into my journey, and I probably would have missed them if I hadn't stopped and thought, wait a second, this might be something useful that I could teach to my students, and then I locked it into my brain. Guys, there is some very, very important content here in the Academy that you need to watch. If you want to make the most out of this market, you must be investing in your education. And look, while a lot of people say, oh, why would you take a course? You can find all that online. You know what? You can find a calculus textbook online, but do you want to try and learn it on your own? It's hard stuff. It's a lot easier if you have someone to guide you. You don't want to spend the next year trying to figure out all of this on your own when you could snap your fingers, join us down below, and be through all of these videos by this time next week. It's really just a no-brainer. Guys, we have a full 14-day money-back refund guarantee. We have over 2,000 students in the Academy, and we've only had maybe 15 students use the refund policy that we have. It's very rare that anyone refunds the Academy. If you could snap your fingers, get all of your money back within 14 days of joining the Academy, and pretty much no one does it, that tells you something. It tells you it's a good product. If you're not convinced, you can join our Discord server down below and get their God's honest testimony. We have absolutely 0 affiliates for the Academy, so no one has any monetary incentive to tell you anything other than the God's honest truth. Anyway, guys, like I said, CT2A sale will be wrapping out tomorrow, so if you're interested, the link's down below. I also want to mention, by the way, here at the end of the video that if you are pretty experienced in trading, we do have a Bybit referral link down below. If you want to leverage trade, you can make a lot of money leverage trading. There are people making thousands of dollars right now over there. So if you're interested, the Bybit referral link is down below. I caution you, if you're not very experienced in the market, probably avoid it. It's easy to get wrecked in leverage, but if you do want to make a little more money trading, Bybit's down there. You can use that link to help out the channel. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. Before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video.